It's Birdman, and time for another edition of 2018 Your Vote, or Your Vote 2018, your pick. See, I let it all up to you. Today, we're going to be talking with a wonderful young lady from Pinetop-Lakeside.
Thank you.
And we're talking about the town council positions
Exactly.
for the town of Pinetop-Lakeside. You're running. It's Lynn Krigbaum.
Lynn Krigbaum running for town council in Pinetop-Lakeside.
Very good. So, like with all the candidates, what I'd like to do is just hear a little bit about you and your background so that the viewers can understand, where you come from, and then we'll move into talking about the position there.
Well, I guess I'm a transplant from Ohio, but that's over 50 years ago. So I lived in the Valley for 30 years and then moved up here 21 years ago. I've lived in Pinetop for 21 wonderful years. I mean, this is paradise. It's the best place in the world, and I love it, love it, love it. And so because we got involved with tracks right away. My husband and I both built trails and found these wonderful people who were great friends and got involved in hiking and giving back to the community because we have 200 miles of non motorized trails for not only hiking, but horseback riding and cross country skiing in the winter, which is what I love. And so tracks has been really a wonderful thing in our retirement. And then because of tracks, I also got involved with the White Mountain Nature Center. And because I was involved with the Nature Center and really getting into getting people up here to enjoy our wonderful place, I got involved with Ad and Pro. And I have been on the advertising and promotion committee for the town of Pinetop-Lakeside for over 3 years, and I've really enjoyed it. I'm vice chair, and it's been a great experience.
Very cool. So, I want to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
Ohio. What part of Ohio are you from?
Oh, I'm from Marion, Ohio.
Marion, Ohio.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah, I grew.
45 miles northwest of Columbus, and I left there, after graduating from high school and never really was back. But my parents were there and my husband's parents were there. And so we went back as the children were growing up a
Yeah,
lot.
so I'm from Ohio, so we'll get into that
Oh,
later. But
okay, good.
people from Ohio it's sort of like that crossover from Midwest to East Coast, and it really is about outdoors. There's a lot of outdoor stuff done in Ohio.
Exactly.
So
My
it's
family were campers from the beginning. I grew up camping and really enjoying hiking and skiing. I learned to downhill ski and downhill 53 years, every consecutive winter, pregnant, everything else. I
wow,
still got to go downhill skiing. So I skied at Sunrise a lot and really enjoyed it. It's the best place to ski.
very cool. So talk to me about town council. How does
Okay.
it come to the point where you're like, okay, I want to be involved in town? 'Cause you're
Right.
obviously involved in community,
I have been,
and
yes.
that's a very key thing to that. So you've already got that foundation and working on the Ad and Pro committee.
Right.
Why town council, and what do you see
Well,
there?
a very dear friend of mine is on the council right now, Norris Dodd, and he ran on the 2-year one that was needed 2 years ago. So he won, and he is on the council now. But he has done many of his um, attendance at the town council meetings have been on the phone because he is a wildlife consultant for the East Asian Development Bank, and he has been in Bhutan a lot, which is wonderful. And he took me there, and I loved it. But anyway, he's been a really dear friend for a long time, since the 80s. And he also now works for Bangladesh, and he's doing a survey of especially elephants in a wildlife area. And Bangladesh is a very heavily populated country, so it's pretty amazing. But they want to put a railroad through an area that's has a lot of elephants. So he's doing the study to see if it's possible and to where to put the railroad. And so consequently, he has been to Bangladesh quite a few times, and he is not going to run for council again. And because we've been good friends, we're environmentally uh, aware and committed, and that's a really important thing. So I decided, since he said he wouldn't run, that I should run. So I'm
There you go.
hoping to take his place.
Any key points that you'd want people to know that you're for or against when it comes to the growth of Pinetop-Lakeside and
Oh, the
things like
growth.
that?
Okay. I'm not one of those people that feels like I have found this wonderful place. Now let's put a fence around it and nobody else can come. I think that's a terrible attitude because we do have paradise up here. I'm just really pleased to be here, but I think we have to be careful with our growth. And we are definitely a tourist community, and that's our economy. And so Ad and Pro has been very um, important in planning and getting the word out about all of the wonderful things that we have going on up here. And a lot of that is the nature center. So I think that's one of the main reasons that I want to continue being active, giving back to the community by being on the town council. I am a fiscal conservative, so I really believe that we need to be careful of our expenditures because we're a small town. But we do depend on the tourists, and our tourist economy needs to be year round. So I've been active in trying to build up programs and things that are happening, and that is indeed happening in our town. So that's a wonderful thing. Um, my husband volunteers at the Blue Ridge School, and so I've been involved in that. I actually was a science teacher in my other life. And I have to say that when tourists call the Chamber of Commerce, at least this is what I've been told, the prime question that they ask is, where can I hike? Well, that's what I've been doing for all these 21 years, is helping to make our trail system wonderful. We have this emergency responder diamond system that's one of the first in the country, I believe. And now we have just made a map that is the first time that the hiker group has worked together with the WMOTA, the motorized group, to make a trail system guide. So I give out those maps all the time. I go to businesses and motels and talk to people about all the places that they can go in our wonderful White Mountains.
Very
Okay.
good. Awesome, Lynn. Anything else that you want to make sure that people know about
Well,
or
that's what
are
I'm trying
aware
to
of?
think. What else have I been? Oh, the forest restoration. Um, About 15 years ago, I got involved with a group called Natural Resources Working Group. And it was where the local Forest Service, Game and Fish and Wildlife, all of those governmental agencies decided that they should have some way to work together so that they weren't duplicating services. And so at the time, we were just starting the White Mountain Land Trust. And so I went to these meetings because of the land trust and being interested in what's happening in the forest. As a TRAX member, I was trained to do monitoring of the thinning. And so that was the Blue Ridge Demonstration Project, which is years ago. And then the White Mountain Stewardship, which just ended 2 years ago. And now Fry is the project that's going on. All of this is to keep us safe from those gigantic fires that have been here. I was here for Rodeo Chetaskai, of course, and that was quite an experience. And then we had the wallow, and this is all not good for our economy up here. And it's also a very scary situation when we have such a dry June as we had this year. It was really pretty frightening. But fortunately, we made it through, and people were really helpful. I think the fact that we had the firefighters here early, and we had a lot of word about the restrictions in the forest being on stage 3 for a long time. I think that all really added up to a safe fire season, thank goodness. So that's good. But I do go to those Fry meetings. I am involved with that, and I think it's really important that we do the thinning in the area and keep us safe. And I have been involved with FireWise. I just was at the conference last Saturday all day. And so I think those are really important things that we need to keep town council on top of our safety issues. And so that's what I'd like to do.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it.
I think that does it.
This is Lynn Krigbaum. She's running
you.
for the position of town council
Town councilor.
town
Yes.
councilor of
Yes, Rob.
the council of the town of Pinetop-Lakeside.
Exactly.
Hey, that's going to be it for this edition of Your Vote 2018. I'm Birdman, reminding you to go out and vote your opinion.